All right, I'm going to go ahead and start with one of the problems that was in the pre-calc review. So if you're watching this on the replay, awesome, you can do that. But there was one specific problem I definitely wanted to go through. By the way, on Periscope, you can fast forward through the replay by holding your finger down, and I think you just like kind of swipe and it fast forwards, so that's kind of nice. So if you ever have like a beginning like that on the replay, you can just fast forward through that part. You don't have to like wait. So I'm definitely going to talk about number 5 on the review. Number 5 on the review, it tells you angle B is 40 degrees, little b is 3, and little a is 2. And we have to solve this triangle for the other missing pieces. So, okay, so if we look at this triangle, because we definitely want to see, does it end up being ambiguous? That's 40 degrees. We'll make this B. Little b, big A, big C, little c. All right, little b is 3, and then little a is 2. Now, if we look at this and try to figure out if it could be an ambiguous case involved here, we have to see if it's ASS. So this is angle, side, side, so it definitely is. So you definitely want to check for the second case, all right? Check for the ambiguous case at the end. But first, let's just solve this triangle that we have and see what we get. So I would go ahead, I can't really solve for any angles yet because I only know one. So I would go ahead and set up your law of sines equation. So it's going to be sine A over 2 equals sine of 40 over 3 equals sine of C over C. All right, so the only thing we can do here is use these first two fractions. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use these two, cross multiply. So 3 times sine A equals 2 times sine 40. And then we're going to go on both sides here. I totally got to dig out my calculator. We're going to go on both sides here, and we're going to divide by 3. So when we divide by 3, sine A equals 2 times sine 40 all over 3. Now be careful when you type this in. This is where you have to use inverse, all right? So hit second sign and then type all of this in. It's going to require some parentheses, so make sure you can type it in the correct way. So when we do this, I get angle A as 25.4 degrees. And don't forget, we also will need to do degrees, minutes, seconds on our quiz in class, all right? And to do that, it's second, apps, and then pick option number 4. So we're done with angle A. So now that we know 2 of the angles, we can subtract them from 180 to find angle C. So angle C is 180 minus 40 minus 25.4. So then we get angle C equals, I get 114.6 degrees. Just like that. All right, so we know 2 angles and we have one thing left to find, and that's this little c. I know that A, I know that C, now I need little c. So we know this big C now, so we can use this fraction. And I like to always keep the exact same one they have in the problem. You could use 25.4 here, but we've already rounded, and I don't want to have to round again. I want extra rounding error. So I'm going to use sine 40 over 3 equals sine 114.6 over little c. And then we cross multiply here. So c times sine 40 equals 3 times sine 114.6, just like that. All right, so to get c alone, I'm going to divide by sine 40. So 3 times sine 114.6 over sine of 40. And then you type this on the calculator. If you want to just type the top, hit enter, and then divide it by sine 40, you can if you have problems like messing with your parentheses or whatnot. And then when I do this, I get that it's approximately 4.2 long. All right, so this triangle solved. We found the other 3 bits that we didn't know up here. But we also said we had to check for that second case, check for the ambiguous case. So here's the deal. Some students get all kinds of confused. I am literally going to look at this first angle we found. See it? Right there. First angle. So because you have a swinging side, and the best way to describe this, if I have this side swinging over here, it's equilateral. I'm sorry, it's an isosceles triangle. These 2 sides are equal. So whatever you got here, so in case 25.4 degrees, it's 25.4 degrees here. So to find this angle, we have to subtract from 180. So that's why we do it, all right? So we take this first angle, always, 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 for the second case, and we do 180 minus that 25.4 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract that, and when I subtract that, I get 154.6 degrees. Now, if everything works out, this is my new angle A. All right, so it replaces this angle A. So what does that mean? That means literally we're using this stuff right here, this info that's at the top right here with this new info. So that's why I'm covering this up. Like, we're not using any of that now. Like, that's the first triangle. We are not dealing with the first triangle anymore. We're dealing with the second triangle. So now we've got this new info. So, okay, I know these two angles, so I can find angle C now. So when I go to find angle C, I do 180 minus 25.4 minus 154.6. So if I look in the calculator and I work this out, and some of you probably already see it, but if I do 180 minus 25.4 minus 154.6, I get 0. Like, I get 0. Okay, so here's where we have to think for a moment. If I have a triangle and this angle is 0, is it a triangle? It's not, right? Like, this is a no-go. So there's no second triangle then, okay? So I wanted to go over that one because I feel like a lot of times we go over ones in class where there's definitely two triangles, and not quite often do we run into it where we check for ambiguous and there's no second triangle. So I definitely wanted to go over that one. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Remember that tomorrow for our quiz we have a late start, so I'm not available in the morning, and on top of that, go to Math Resource, okay? So if you have extra questions, go to Math Resource. You got all day because you got me at the end of the day. So like I said, no help in the morning, so make sure you review this, you understand what's going on, and you have those review problems done. You're ready to go for the quiz tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.